Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Year Wonder podcast. Today we have the gorgeous Tanya Newbould here with us today in studio. Tanya, welcome to the podcast.
Kalika, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I know I've asked you for many years to be on, and our schedules finally aligned. So I'm so
Yes,
glad that you're here.
thank you.
So I'd love for everyone to have you introduce yourself and tell us your origin story and how you became an entrepreneur.
Oh, thank you for asking. So, my name is Tanya Newbould. I was born in England, raised in Michigan, and traveled west to California to become an actor when I was 21 years old, which I did get to do quite successfully for many years. Did over 20 films and commercials, TV shows, and absolutely loved it, but also felt slightly unfulfilled. And when I married the love of my life, which I've now been married a very long time, we had our daughter when I turned 43 years old. And it was very interesting to me because I always wanted a child. I was so excited to have her. And yet, when I did, I suffered very extreme postpartum depression. And what most people don't understand is that there's actually 9 levels of perinatal mood and anxiety disorders, and I suffered 7 out of 9 of them. So, yay me. And it was so terrifying to go through that as a human being, as a woman who wanted to be a mother. And there is so much shame and guilt associated when you do suffer from that. What people don't understand is that it affects 1 in 5 women and 1 in 10 men, and it is very normal to go through it, and with help, you will be okay. But at the time I went through it, I had no idea what was wrong with me. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was a horrible human being. And then I read Brooke Shields' book, Down Came the Rain, and I went, "Oh my God, I have postpartum depression." And that began the journey of my healing, which I did holistically through 5-HTP and rosehip oil. Although, as a coach, I coach women go on the medication. You don't have to be on it forever. Don't suffer. But there wasn't a lot of information. So that led me on a quest and the forethought to create a documentary about postpartum depression that Brooke Shields both narrated and executive produced. It has been shown in over 69 countries and 6 languages, and it has definitely saved lives.
When the Bough Breaks.
When the Bough Breaks, a documentary about postpartum depression. It's available on Amazon, iTunes, and Google Play. So it's very accessible, and we do a lot of education with it as well, just to help women, because once you see it, you don't have to be it. So to understand you are not alone, you are not crazy, and it has definitely saved lives. And we set out, as myself, Jamie Lynn Littman, who's a phenomenal director, and Lindsay Gerst, who became the executive producer and through line of the documentary, and couldn't have done it without them. They were amazing. But we said if we save even one life, we've done our job, and it has done that.
Wow. So what are the 9 levels?
Oh my goodness. So there's antenatal depression, which is in utero, which is what I had at 4.5 months pregnant, and I was happy to be pregnant. I found myself on my kitchen floor, hysterically sobbing, snot coming out of my nose, my mouth, and I was like, "I don't think this is normal." And I started to go to therapy, which was a wonderful move, but at the time, the therapist didn't specialize in this, so it was just, "Oh, you're in therapy," and there's many different types, and I'm an advocate of therapy for sure, but we didn't identify what I was going through. Then I have my daughter, and what most people get is a baby blues. It affects about 80% of women, lasts about 2 weeks. You're weepy, you're crying, your life is different, you're not quite sure how you feel about it, and then you kinda kick into your rhythm. If it goes beyond that, then you go into what is called unipolar depression, and that is depression, the sadness, the tears, crying for no reason, sad thoughts. Then I realized I definitely had postpartum anxiety, as the sun would go down, I would become so anxious because my husband worked in a corporate job. He needed to sleep. My poor daughter had colic. I was not going to be sleeping. So every night was like this, oh my gosh, oh no, how am I going to do this again? So that created the anxiety. Then when she would cry, I would wake up like a 6.8 earthquake. My heart would be pounding. I would be shaking. So that is postpartum PTSD. So I had that as well. Then you get to intrusive or obtrusive thoughts. And unfortunately, I had that one. And that's where you have a vision or you picture things you don't want to picture. And mine was throwing my daughter off the balcony. And it kept playing over and over again. And it was so devastating to me to have this line of thinking as I have a strong faith in God. I have a wonderful husband. I knew I loved my daughter, but why am I having these thoughts? What's wrong with me? And it's actually really normal in the sense that many, many women do, but they don't act on them. And so if anyone's having that, just know that it could be Brooke Shields talks hers was throwing her baby against the wall or driving her car into a wall. There's so many different forms of that. And I think it's really important to normalize that because there's so much shame even in admitting it. Even now, just saying it, I have a little like, but it's very important for women to know and men that this is normal. The next one would be panic disorder, where you begin to panic about everything. Is the baby breathing? Am I okay? Is there I would picture like, what if a nuclear bomb went off? Like crazy types of paranoia, panic. So that would show up randomly. You'd be standing in your kitchen warming up a bottle, and then it was like, oh my God, it's really our brains are very, very interesting. They're wired for survival, as you know, but they don't always serve us the way we would like them to, like it to. The next one would be bipolar. I did not have that. And that can be two things where you're either almost like in elation, you never sleep, and it's kind of like, this isn't normal. And it goes on for a while, but it's the person is not behaving like themselves. Or it can be the exact opposite where they can't get out of bed. They can't function, they can't care for the baby. So those are the two forms, and it's a dichotomy, it's one or the other. And then the last one, which thank God only affects 1 in 1,000 women, is psychosis. And psychosis is when you are having maybe those obtrusive or intrusive thoughts, but you actually act on it. So it could be hearing a voice in your head. God told me to harm this baby. The devil said, if I don't do something, he will kill me. So it's very extreme. There definitely are signs when, again, if anyone sees their spouse, friend acting differently than they normally do after a couple weeks, do not ignore it, because the sad thing is psychosis does not need to happen. It can be a hormone imbalance, it can be lack of nutrition, lack of sleep. It actually can be a very simple fix, but if you don't get blood work, if you don't address it and it goes on too long, it can end up in an irreversible situation.
Well, that's so helpful for all the male and women entrepreneurs that
Yeah.
are listening today because they just want to just plow through it. Like, I can do this.
Which is I love that you brought that up. That's a really good point because I am an entrepreneur and I am a go-getter. I got this. I'll do this. I can handle it. I think it's very normal for both male and female entrepreneurs. Like we run our businesses, companies, multi-businesses. We have a lot going on at all times. So I think it's a very easy false belief to fall into, like, I got this. I can handle it. I don't need help. But at the end of the day, let's think about how we run our business. Isn't it much better when we have someone helping us and creating that ease, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important to address it.
I think entrepreneurs in general, all the burden lies on them. And so asking for help is almost just like not even part of the equation.
Correct. And I'm very guilty of that myself now as an entrepreneur. I have 5 businesses and do most of it pretty much on my own, which part of that, wanting to control everything, part of it not wanting to ask for help, many different circumstances. But when we think about it, having a child, the the places that are the most successful, maybe the villages in Africa, different parts of the world where it is a community. Like you are not alone. I love in the Asian culture sitting moon, where you rest in bed. You don't even get out of bed. You don't shower. You don't do anything. You are taken care of. The baby is brought to you. Food is brought to you. I mean, how beautiful is that? In especially I feel the American culture, probably the UK also, it's very much like, well, get on with it. You had your baby. And in America, it's very much, oh, Kalik, I'm going to let you bond with your baby. I'm going to give you that space. I'll check in with you in a little bit. The truth is, that's the worst thing anyone can do. And even if the mom is saying, no, no, I'm good. I got this, showing up with a meal, popping by to say, I'm just going to sit here. Please go take a shower. I'm going to watch your baby. Take some time to yourself. Go lay down. Whatever that looks like. I ended up, a very dear friend of mine, actress Jennifer Blanc, started bringing me a cup of coffee in a styrofoam cup from the gas station. She would stop by 5 days a week at 9 o'clock in the morning with the styrofoam cup of coffee and stay for 30 minutes. And I looked forward to that every morning. So those things matter.
Yeah, because you still need that adult connection because you're so used to it.
Absolutely. And especially too, as an entrepreneur, you're out, chances are. I mean, a lot of us work remotely, but you're still out and about. You're meeting with people, you're conducting business, you're handling things. When you have a baby, a lot of that goes out the window. Your life is different from that moment on. And if you're not well equipped in advance to recognize that, know that, and set yourself up, and I thought I'd set myself up very well, but you can find yourself behind the hamster wheel, not even on it, but behind it very quickly.
And you're so lucky because you also had a loving relationship to
Yes.
help support you. There are a lot of women who don't also have that, or they could be alone.
Yeah, that's true too. In which case, hopefully they have family. But if not, get a good tribe of girlfriends or friends. Male, female, doesn't matter, but just a support system. So when you start to feel like you're falling apart, that someone can come and hold you together.
Yeah. So how did this experience dealing with postpartum depression, help you with your entrepreneurial ventures?
It actually changed my life. And I know talking about it right now may sound like, ooh, wow, that's a lot to go through. It was the greatest gift God gave me because I do feel part of my daughter's journey coming here was for me to do something about it, to create that documentary, to become an advocate, and to view life differently. Because again, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it forever changed how I looked at things. So let's go back to the acting. Now I have my daughter at 43. Now I'm 45, auditioning. And I'll never forget the day I decided I'm done. I was auditioning for a guest starring role on the show Vegas, and I had over prepared so much, and I was supposed to cry, and I was really good at crying. That was like one of my specialties. And I walked into the audition and I had nothing. I had overworked it, and I was like, oh my God. And so I did the audition. I made it through. I went home and I cried for 2.5 hours. And I went, I don't think this is healthy for me. And in that moment, I decided to give it up. When I saw the episode, even if I was brilliant, I wasn't going to get that role. I wasn't the type they were looking for. But it was such an awesome thing because in that moment, I then really began to grow my jewelry business as a designer. I began to look at what else can I do? And that led me to coaching. Well, that and COVID, because we couldn't go anywhere. But that led me into really becoming an entrepreneur and embracing that journey. And it was frightening at first to go, oh my gosh, can I do this? And it's now when I get to be on a stage, when I get to speak, I still get to tap into the acting. I love connecting with the audience. I still love doing plays. I love connecting with people. But I feel like I'm actually providing value for others versus as an actor, it was like, look at me, I'm talented. And I recognize what I was thought I wanted that would completely complete me never would have.
Yeah.
And
And those words weren't your words either, right? Now when you're coaching, now when you're creating, that's coming from you.
yes. Yes, and the opportunity to always be creative in your business, on your business, in your life. And I, my husband will say to me sometimes, you do too much, you do too much, you have too much going on. But this is a life that I love and I've created. I didn't do all this to be in a place where I would not enjoy it. So I love what I do. I love all of it.
Yeah. I know every single time I look at you, you have the most gorgeous jewelry, and people stop you on the street because of your jewelry. And you have jewelry all over the most high-end luxury hotels and like places like the Golden Door. Like,
Yes.
are you so proud of yourself?
Oh my gosh, I love that you just asked me this question. This is serendipitous. Every morning I pray and I meditate. I love to, before I turn on my phone, my whole deal is I boil my water, I pour my French press. It takes 5 minutes. And that 5 minutes, I sit and I pray and I meditate. And this morning I said, I'm proud of me.
Yeah.
And I recognize I perhaps don't hear that enough. And it's not that I need to, but to acknowledge myself for all that I have done and all that I'm doing, and that I am proud of myself.
Yeah.
And getting to have jewelry in Vogue, Tatler, Vanity Fair, all over. I leave on Monday to go to Jackson Hole to do a trunk show at the Four Seasons and downtown at the Bella Shops in Town Square. I'm so blessed that I have this amazing life.
Yeah. Did you know that you were this creative with jewelry when you were younger?
No, not at all. I've always loved, thank you for asking that question because no, I loved being artistic, but it's funny when I think about it. So I grew up in Michigan. We would take I'm an only child. My mom and dad and I would take 3-week trips out west. And do you remember the piece of paper with the rocks glued to it, the rock collection? I loved my rock collection. Of course, my favorite one was pyrite, which is sparkly, kind of like the color of what I'm wearing.
Beautiful.
And I treasured my rock collection. So that alone is kind of foretelling of rocks, gems. And then as I got into it, I love color. So I'm very good at putting colors together. And I'm also very decisive. I have a girlfriend, I love her dearly. We go to the gem show. She goes, can I walk with you? And I'm like, no, I love you, but you'll still be halfway down aisle 1. I'll be on aisle 9 because I know what I like and I'm very quick. I'm like, that one, let me see that. And so I just got back from Tucson, which has over 14 shows and they come from all over the world every year in February. It's my favorite. And I'm creating some beautiful pieces, including my necklace that I just
It
did.
is gorgeous. Those
Thank you.
colors. Wow.
Thank
And the
you.
sizes of it are just so brilliant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bigger the better. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, this is South Sea, Tahitian, and Edison pearls. So it's a combination of both saltwater and freshwater.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you just got it done. I mean, that's what an entrepreneur does. It brings the invisible visible.
Yes, which I really love doing. And, Kalika, I have to say thank you so much to you. For those of you who don't know, Kalika has been my mentor for several years. I'm so grateful to you. And it really is wonderful to have support because as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you're starting off and you have all these ideas in your head, which is wonderful. You're in that dream state, but the liftoff is the most, there's 5 stages to a project. And that is one of the, if not the most important stages. How do you bring it from visionary reality into physical reality? And having the ability to do that and having that support system from such an amazing coach such as yourself to say, here's what you do. And I used to love our coaching sessions. You'd be like, well, let's get your signature on email. Okay, you want to tell me how to do it? No, no, we're going to do it right now. Let's do it.
Yes.
Open up your computer.
Yeah.
And every time we'd meet, I felt like we took a step.
Accomplish something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I so appreciated that. And now, I'll have my 5-minute dump journal with all my lists every and mark them off as I go. And then I recognize those I don't accomplish, I'll move to the next day. But now I probably get more done in a month than I used to in 6 months.
And that's just the thought of just realizing what you're doing, being
Yes.
aware, and also having the right intentions behind it.
Absolutely. And intention is such an important word because I'll check in with myself to see what is my intention. And if it's just only about me, that's a weak intention. If it's what can I offer or be of service to help others to make their life better or easier or more fulfilling or fun or whatever that looks like or more colorful, then that is a much stronger intention.
Yeah. I know we learned a lot about life's intentions with the Academy for Coaching Excellence, because we're both certified through that program. And, one of them is, being a loving, wife and mother. And you brought your daughter here today in studio. So I think that is
Yes.
so beautiful. And then also to be a successful entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? That's one of your
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so and I love Dr. Maria Nemeth, and we've learned so much from her. She's phenomenal. But the life's intentions are standards of integrity, who we are as a human being, and how we choose to show up in the world. And it's really, I love this too, and I really commend every entrepreneur because I think it's very normal to be a human being and have the brain go, whether it be imposter syndrome, or I don't feel like doing this today, or I don't know how to show up properly, or am I doing this well? Am I making a difference? Like my brain asks all those questions probably more than I would like it to, but the intention, the standards of integrity, how we want to show up in the world is far more important. And I love what Tony Robbins says. He has a plunge pool. He goes out there every morning, and every morning his brain goes, absolutely not. And every morning he goes, no, absolutely, because you're not in charge of me.
Yeah. Yeah. He knows exactly what he wants, and so he goes for it. A lot of times, people don't have clarity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clarity, focus, ease, and grace, right?
Yeah. Which is, the definition of success.
Yes.
So success is doing what you said you were going to do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And I love that you brought that up because, it's really the quality of our action, not just what we're doing and getting things done in just like a
Yes.
manic way, the quality of how we're doing it and how we're showing up in that moment and being willing to do that, I think is really the what separates the entrepreneurs who have that type of grace in their life.
Absolutely. And being willing is huge because it's very easy to fall into story or victimhood or why you can't do it. And it's much more powerful. You'll see that show up and then say, no, no, no. You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to show up. And so you do so. And a lot of times that means for yourself. Show up for yourself. The time is now.
Yeah. And it's different from willpower, right? The ability to sort of force yourself to do it as opposed to the willingness. Am I willing to show up and bring grace to the situation?
Yes.
Mm.
And that is very much a choice because we've all, and I've been guilty of being that person in the past, flying in late, flying in stressed, allowing whatever previous circumstances were going on in my life, bringing it all with me until you recognize a successful entrepreneur, a successful human being. We all go through all of it. I mean, you have been through some unbelievable things with the fires last year in the Palisades, your parents, I mean, so many different things, but still choosing to show up in a way that you create grace around you for others. It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness and to choose to be.
Yeah. And I really love how gratitude is the doorway to grace, and also I'm so grateful for you as well too. You're always so generous. You're always bringing gifts and you actually brought this really beautiful gift for me today from the Golden Door called Inspirational Cards. So I'm just going to just open it. Motivate, act and transform. Let's open one of the cards.
I love that.
Okay, so one of the cards says, Maya Angelou, The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise.
Ooh,
Ooh, that just hit me. Yeah.
that's beautiful, and that kinda goes a little bit with what we were just talking about,
Yeah.
intention for
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. And trying to reach hearts because that's what you do. Because besides being an amazing jewelry designer or an amazing candle designer, you're also a spiritual coach.
Yes, I am, and I'm also, for me, I have a strong faith in God personally, and so I'm a deacon at my church. I host, I'm on the prayer team, and I'm very grateful, and I think a lot of people really see this going through COVID and how we could not connect with others in person. I am so grateful for human beings, for all human beings. Everywhere I go, the checker at the grocery store, someone standing in line in CVS pharmacy, I don't care, like, anywhere I can, like, connect with someone, and hopefully, even if it's just for a moment, that they walk away going, "Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. They connected with me. They just looked at me and smiled." It may not even be a conversation. So, to me, and this goes with being an entrepreneur because we do an awful lot on our own and alone. So to have human connection, I really see it as a gift,
Yeah.
not a given.
And also knowing your personality type because you're extrovert, right? Oh, yeah.
You know, it's
But
interesting. Yes, I'm an extroverted introvert. If I don't get my
mm,
downtime, alone time, I get very like, I don't know what to like. It's very uncomfortable for me. So I am
yeah.
definitely both.
My husband's like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
so lovely, by the
Yeah.
way.
I'm a 98% extrovert, so I just love people. So when COVID came around, it was really hard for me
Yeah,
because you just realize like the world stopped and you're like, what am I going to do without people?
I
Yeah, it
know.
was really hard. I think I had told you that in the house I had broken my wrist, and then when um and in Louise Hay's book, How to Heal Your Body, your wrist means not being flexible. So I wasn't being flexible with the situation that I was in with COVID,
Oh,
because I wanted
wow.
it to be the same way where I would just go out, meet people. And so it's really important to know like what your personality type is so that you can sort of navigate this world.
That's so interesting because when COVID happened for me, it almost mimicked my postpartum depression.
Really?
Absolutely, because again, isolation,
Right.
feeling very isolated,
Yeah.
and fear of the future. I didn't know how my life was going to turn out. By the way, having a child, best, greatest gift God's ever given me. Love her more than anything in the world. And COVID also brought many gifts,
Yeah.
like, a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, and but also a lot of beautiful positive things for us to all pivot and shift, do business a different way.
Right.
And, as a coach, 98% of my work is on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I'm like, "What button do you press? Where do I see no, how do I get on this camera?" It's I
And now
didn't
you
know.
you jump on no
Yeah.
problem. You know how to do the whiteboard, right?
Yeah. All the
Yeah.
things,
And
yeah.
also everyone else had to learn,
And well,
right?
and so we all grew together. So
Right.
this leads me to what else I want to talk about with you because I read your newsletter,
Mm.
your weekly this morning about AI.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my, oh my, oh my.
So, Bones is coming right after you. You'll get to meet him if you stay a little bit. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
would love to meet
Yeah, yeah.
him. That was such a valuable article because I do use Chat GPT and it's already changed my world, but there's so much I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
So I'm printing out the worksheet. I'm looking at everything you wrote about all of the different things to understand the different platforms, where to start, what you want it to do, the four pillars of how it works. So I'm fascinated by AI and I really would like to be, if not in front of it, alongside of it, not behind it.
Exactly. Because I think, I had mentioned this to you that a super user is the one that's going to succeed, and the people who are just using it in a basic way are going to be left behind. And I think that in Bones's talk, he talks about how a lot of people just bolt AI on top of their existing workflows, which is really not the way to use it.
Yeah.
You really need to be able to understand it, be able to use it for acquisition of clients,
Yeah.
for of operations, and of delivery. So if you can put in some AI automation to help you with that, I
Yeah.
mean, it's your AI employee that will help you, and it'll relieve a lot of stress from you.
I look forward to learning more about that in
Yeah.
whatever way I can because I already see the benefit of just even the little bit that I know how to do. It has changed my business. It
Mm.
has increased my business. So I can only imagine to become more versed. I mean, knowledge is power, right? So the
Yeah.
more we can learn from this and how to do it, I'm excited for what the future holds.
Yeah.
And it's the year of the horse.
Yeah,
It is
Farah.
going to be fire horse. Yes, please. It's going to be a powerful year.
Yeah, and I'm glad maybe that's the reason why we waited for the podcast to happen in the year of the horse. Snake year was kind of
A lot of shedding, right?
yeah.
Definitely, and I saw that too, a lot of letting go, allowing things to be what they may, shift and change, had to mourn some losses, but
Yeah.
then also to clear the path for what this year is supposed to bring. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your candle line.
Oh, I love my candle line.
I think
Thank
it's
you so much.
amazing.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's called Sozo, which is a Greek word, Sozo heart. So the word Sozo, it's interesting. My pastor said it in a sermon. I was like, wait, what does that word mean? Then remember, I couldn't find it. You were helping me with it.
Mm,
And I'm like, no, Kalika, there's this word. And you were like, what about this word? I'm
mm,
like, I've got to find this word. And all of a sudden, randomly, one day I opened up my computer and there it was. I'm not even kidding you. I was like, what? That's the word. And it means rebirth, redemption, and revival
mm.
in Greek. And it's so telling because as a new mom, you are very cognizant that you don't want to have anything toxic around your
Right.
baby, including candles, diffusers, plugins, all of those can be highly toxic. So I really wanted to create a candle that had a higher amount of essential oil and creates a sense of grounding and all as well. So Sozo heart being the mama. And if you look at my logo, the bigger part of the heart is a mama, the littler part is a baby, and then there's a little teardrop which represents the depression.
Mm.
So it is a way, and the card is very well thought out, which comes a lot from our coaching and what we've learned about all is well and the different intention behind it. And then the candle is called Breathe, which we all need reminders to do, right? Right there you go. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, breathe. And it is English garden, the smell after a rain, and fresh cut grass. So it's very earthy, clean. And then my diffuser is called Rest because I thought, well, you can't burn a candle next to your bedside. That's not a good idea, especially for a new mom if you're tired. So let's do a diffuser, which is lavender from the French Alps, English garden, and garden mint. Mint is good for clearing the head, and the lavender for relaxation. And so it has black obsidian in the bottom, which cuts negativity, and my candle has crystal quartz, which is considered one of the most healing stones on the planet.
I love that there's a crystal in the candle. It is I've never seen that before.
Oh, thank you. Well, I first started out with no lid to protect it, and it would like sink into the wax. It would melt. People are like, what do we do with this?
Mhm.
So now it's beautifully set on top of a little protection. So you can take that crystal, you can hold it, you can put it in your pocket, put it by your bedside, whatever works for you.
Yeah, no, I just love it. So, it's one of the favorite gifts that I give away. And did you know that you had this talent with scent?
Well,
Because you also have the essential
oils. Yes,
oils.
my Get
Yeah,
Grounded is
yeah,
a roller oil that's
yeah.
actually, in fact, I'm waiting for my new shipment. It's created in Bali and it is 6 essential oils, no filler oil, no fragrance. It's interesting you should ask that because my husband James, I've been married for 29 years. He always smells amazing. People compliment him all the time, and I'm the one who always buys him cologne.
Oh,
So
right.
I must have a little bit of a like, I know what I like and I know what I don't like.
Yeah. And the different scents are different because of everyone's pheromones, right? Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, perfumes on me, I'll try them on, and half the time I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very challenging to find something, and with the candle, I wanted to go with something that And I no offense to any candles, because candles are amazing, but I didn't want it to smell like every other candle brand.
Exactly.
I wanted it to be different and to impact more, and I do hear that it does, so that makes me very grateful, humbly grateful.
Yeah, whenever I give the gift, I always just say, "This is my favorite candle." You know?
Oh,
Like,
thank
I
you.
don't know whether or not I'm like, "Should I be giving you my favorite candle? Should I be giving you your favorite candle?" But I don't care. I'm giving them my favorite
Oh
candle,
my
which
goodness.
is
Well, that
yours.
means so much to me. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
And you're also an author.
I am. In fact, I've co-authored 3 books now. One was Absolute Vision. The next one is The Coach's Toolbox Volume 3 about coaching. And I just did Today is the Day, Live It, that Jody Grinwald facilitated and authored. And there's 31 authors in it. I'm one of those. We just launched a couple weeks ago. It's available on Amazon. And I have finished my manuscript for my journey, which involves my postpartum depression, creating the documentary, and what I learned through that journey to help others know that you are not alone. So I've had it edited. I need to go back through the manuscript. We're getting there. And I've really had to let go of timeline because you get very attached to deadlines. And I'm really learning that things happen and are facilitated when they're meant to. His time is not always our time.
Right. And then going back to ease, small, sweet steps.
Yes, correct. Yes, and just allowing it to be. And how many times have you thought, "Oh, I need this to happen now," and then it doesn't. You think, "Oh, it didn't happen," and then it does. You go, "Oh, because
Yeah.
I needed to wait for this timing or this person or this was the right way it was supposed to go." So I've learned to recognize when things to all seem to go awry, do not despair. It is meant to be too. And well, how can you grow from it? What
Yeah.
is the growth opportunity?
Yeah. And I think this comes back to like your life's intentions. Like, I remember when, every little thing had to be done now, like taking out the trash. It had to be done like right now. But then
Yes.
you realize, well, my life's intention is to be a loving family member. Like, if I'm going mental, just like the trash needs to go out now, like just for
Yeah.
no reason, like there's a sense of ease in the house rather than just like some manic person trying to clean, in between whatever everything else has to be done,
Yeah.
as a family.
No, really recognizing, and it is such a beautiful thing to reflect on your life's intentions because if you ever feel confusion, you can simply go through that and then key back into that and you will find your way.
Yeah. And so, like, when someone coaches with you, how does it work? Like, do you do a roadmap with them? Like, do you have exercises?
I do, but I used to do a discovery questionnaire and I still will with certain clients if they want to.
Mm,
Because I recognize not everyone wants to sit and fill out 35 questions, and
mm,
that's okay. So there is always a discovery call first, complimentary to get to know how can I support you? How do we take you from having a dream to the action of living your dream? And what does that look like for you? And then, yes, I very specific, especially in the beginning, like the power of our words, different things that I go through just to set people up for success. And also, it's like your level 101 fallback whenever you feel like, uh-oh, now what do I do? It'll help regulate your nervous system and help you understand what you're doing. But the power of our words is so important. We speak through our mouths, our words, and they can create our reality, good or bad. So, what do you choose and where do you catch yourself? Anytime you're doing, I need to, I have to, I should, I could, I would, change it to I choose. I choose to. Makes the brain much happier and much more open to completing whatever it is that you want to do without a negative charge to it.
I love that because also one of the words that I really don't like people saying, if I hear it, I'll just tell them, you really shouldn't say that word BROKE or any type of word where you're talking about lack out loud. Because,
Hmm.
like you said, I mean, these words stick to the wall
Yeah.
and they live. They're
Yes.
powerful.
Their energy.
Yeah.
One of the ones was people used to think it was a positive mantra. Money goes through me. Well, if it's going through you, where's it going? Because it's not staying with you. So you might want to change that,
Oh, that's true. That's
right?
true. Yeah, yeah.
So it may sound very interesting, but even with the word I always talk about this too, the word disease, dis-ease.
Mm.
You are not at ease if you do not handle your sweet brain, your spiritual life, your mental capacity, and you harbor anger and resentment or speak in negative terms, it will manifest in your body.
Yeah.
So, what do you choose?
Yeah. And you're such an epitome of positivity. Like, I don't think I've ever heard you say anything like things may be like, "Oh, have to go to my jewelry downtown jeweler downtown," but like it's never any gossip, which no judgmental, because that's what we hear a lot because you're always creating. So a lot of our conversations are always just like, what are we creating next?
Yeah.
Isn't it inspiring?
It's so inspiring, and listen, I used to be guilty of the gossip and all of that, and I recognize it was a way to connect, or so I thought, but it's not a connection you want. And the people I most admire and that I want to be in the room with, they don't do that. So therefore, I must not do that either. And also, I have to really question, why am I even thinking that way at all? Because anytime you have a finger pointing forward, you have several pointing back at yourself. So anything you're thinking in a negative term of someone else, always look within and go, well, where am I doing that?
Yeah.
That's the other thing at this point. And that's why I love coaching. I have zero judgment on anything because really there's pretty much not anything you've done that I haven't done a version of myself. And that even goes into, I love coaching corporate and C-suites and small business because it's a trickle down effect. However, the owner of that organization, corporation, or business is showing up, I guarantee everyone beneath is a reflection of that human being. So it's very, very important that you keep your mind in a good place and how you conduct your life because everyone's going to reflect that.
Yes, yeah. And it's so true too that when you coach other people, you also are not sort of like looking down on them. You're inspired by
No.
them because you see their
Yes.
potential.
Well, and
Yeah.
we have a saying
Mhm.
that we are also being coached as we're coaching,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I recognize, I learned so much from my
Mhm.
clients. I'm so grateful to them. They bring joy and inspiration to me. How blessed am I that I am allowed to be of service to their life, to things that they perhaps don't share with other people, that they feel safe enough to share. I just did something yesterday with some amazing women and there was a lot of tears shed and a lot of
Mm.
deep, deep information shared. I was so honored, and it completely changed the timeline of what I was doing because I was like, no, hold space for this. This is really, these women are feeling safe. This is needed right now. It was, it was a miracle to witness and just to observe these human beings having this safe place to connect.
Yeah.
What an honor to
Yeah.
hold that space.
Yeah. It's so true because a lot of times people join, tribes like EO because it is really lonely to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And having some place that's safe or to land softly is really important for entrepreneurs.
It
Yeah.
is, and to have that support and see like, I know EO does a lot of wonderful events, to see friendly faces and they become friends and, or maybe you connect to go, "You wanna do something together?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's create something together." I mean, there's so many beautiful opportunities.
Yeah. And you're joining EO soon.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such a great tribe.
I look
Yeah.
forward to it, I really do. I've been had that my eye on that prize from the beginning, so,
Yeah.
yes.
What are you looking forward to in 2026?
I am looking forward to my mantra for this year is more financial freedom without the hustle,
Mm.
is to just continue to be creative because I have to be creative. Like it's not even, it's just a part of who I am. So to be able to do that and just create a life that I love, which I already have, and I'm
Yeah.
grateful for all of it, but to grow that and just to see what's possible, but to do it with clarity, focus, ease, and grace.
So financial freedom with grace and ease.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, what's really interesting is a lot of times people don't think that they can even ask for it. But like you said, the power of words, you
And you
do ask
have
for
to
it.
ask. You have to put it out there. A lot of times, the reason why human beings don't, because they're too afraid that if I say it and it doesn't show up exactly the way I thought it should or I spoke it, I failed.
Mm.
That is not the truth. Say it. And it may not, and that's okay. So then say it again or say a different version and keep saying it and keep speaking it and keep visualize it. Take some time, expand your consciousness. Truly, what will it feel like when that happens? Where are you when you get that phone call that you finally got the deal you've been working on? Whatever that looks like for each individual. And listen, it may be for a mom just hearing her child laugh and being on the floor playing because that's comfortable and beautiful. Whatever that looks like for each individual, you have to be able to see it in order to be it.
Yeah, and Oprah says, like, you have to just dream the biggest dream that you could possibly dream, and then once you do that, you sometimes people don't even allow themselves to dream.
Because it's too frightening. And
Mm,
here's the truth. None of us are getting out of here alive. None of us. And it's funny how we kind of think we are. So why not make the most of it? Why not go for every single thing that you've ever wanted? And because if nothing else, each road leads to a different journey, to a different connection. Also, and I think about that, like sometimes it could be one single person. I heard you on Liz Swadek's podcast. I'm like,
right.
oh, I need to connect
Yeah,
with this woman.
yeah.
You have changed my life
Yeah,
completely. I've met other person, one connection that has completely changed my life. We don't know
right.
where that's going to come in, but we won't if we don't get out there and take a chance.
And as Dr. Maria Nemeth says, what would it be like to live a life without regret?
Amen. I think about that. I do not want to be when that time comes going, I should have, I could have, and I didn't.
But you're doing you're a jeweler, you're a candle maker, you're a coach, you're also a speaker and an author.
Yeah.
How do you do it all?
A lot. I honestly, humble, gratitude, prayer. My I will say, and I had this thought this morning, I connected with another entrepreneur and she's very successful. And she said, I don't have the time to connect with my daughter. You're very good about that, Tanya. I don't because she's doing a lot of different things and I respect that. My daughter is my priority.
Mhm.
She was off this week. And as much as I may have thought I had my day out, Mom, can we go to the mall and go do this? And I'm like, sure.
Well, I love how both of your nails are so
Oh,
gorgeous. You guys got your nails
we got
done.
our nails done, we
Mhm.
got our hair did,
Yeah.
just all the things, but time with her,
Yeah.
laughing together, being in the car, we hold hands when we walk. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm so blessed. My daughter's such a sweetheart. But that and I woke up this morning and I thought, wow, if I look back on my life with her, do I feel like anywhere in my life that I did not put her first? And I don't. She's
Yeah.
always been first.
And I love that she's so honest with you. If you ask her a question, she tells you the truth,
Always.
which, a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, she tells me things sometimes I'm not even ready to hear. And I'm like, "Oh, okay," and she died laughing, and I'm like, "Thank you for sharing, I think." But I'm so blessed because she does, and she is awesome, and, and being a coach too as a mom, what a blessing, and I'll even say to her, "Are you open for coaching?" And sometimes, she'll allow me to say it, and I don't know if how much of it lands, but I do know we have a phenomenal relationship. Listen, we got into a fight the other day, just like any other mother and daughter will, but we resolved it so quickly. And we both said, that is not how I want to be with you. I love you.
Mhm.
I apologize for my side. I apologize for my side. Let's make the rest of this day great. And we did.
Yeah, you're so good at that. You're so good at recognizing, and it goes back to look, see, tell the truth,
And
and
take authentic action.
right,
Yeah.
right. You told yourself the truth. Ooh,
Ooh, and it's not always pretty. And, and that's the thing as a coach. And I've had a client, like, I got some very heartbreaking news from a dear, dear friend several weeks ago who is basically my age and has a genetic condition that will end his life very early. And it really threw me because he is a wonderful, loving, loving human being. Just, oh, such an amazing man. And I couldn't process it that day because I had the book launch that night
Mhm.
and I had so much going on. And I thought, you can't cry. You can't, you just, it's not the time for you to do that because there wasn't enough time to process. So I went and it was really interesting because one of my clients actually was there with her mom and they both could see I really was not in my body. Like I showed up, I did it, nobody would have
But they
known.
could tell.
They could tell. And it was really great to say, yeah,
Yeah.
even though I'm a coach,
Right.
I'm a human being. And I chose to show up and it was important for me to do so, but it wasn't the way I would have liked to.
Mhm.
And even with that, there were some lessons and just I could have managed my time a little better. That's on me. But it also was really great for someone else to see we're all human beings.
Yeah.
We all fall short of the glory of God. And it's just, it is what it is. But the more we can embrace our humanity together, maybe we can have less judgment toward each other.
Yeah, that is so true. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I coach, they're always just like, I'm so logical. And all this like woo stuff is like not like what I'm doing. How important is being spiritual as an entrepreneur?
I think it's incredibly important, probably more so even than being logical. You can hire teams for the logic side of it. But the truth is, as an entrepreneur, your clients want to connect with you. And if they can't connect with you, they're not going to care about what company, service, product, or anything else you have because at the end of the day, Tanya, I'm doing this event. You want to come? Yes, because I look forward to being in your energy.
Mhm.
I admire your spirituality. I admire your integrity and how you care for that. And I think also too, I'm a very strong advocate and believer when you tune into your spirituality, miracles and magic happen.
Mhm. Yes.
You can collapse time.
Yes.
Things expand. The person that you wanted to hear from is suddenly calling you because you're now thinking about them.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
And that comes from really tuning into that, being still, which I'm still working on,
Mhm.
and taking the time to tune into who we are as energy and how we affect the world and how everything is connected. We're connected to this couch, the tree, the nature, the sun, the
Yeah.
air, all of it is connected. And I love your saying, Kalika. And I've thought of it when I've seen like a gnat in my bathroom, do no harm. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it has its lifespan. I'm going to leave it alone.
Do no harm.
Do
Yeah.
no harm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that because
Yeah.
the more we can do no harm,
Yeah.
maybe we can repair this world a little bit better.
Or this too, meaning like include this in your
Yeah.
experience, the gnat.
The
Okay.
gnat.
Like let's just shoot it out or take a piece of
Yeah.
paper.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But do I need to harm it?
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's, and I really love that with people too. Certain people I get very uncomfortable around if they're angry or if they have a negative intention or I don't know what they're going to do or someone unfortunately who maybe is on the street with me and they're homeless.
Right.
And you have that moment of like, and I think still offer them something,
Mhm.
even if they do make eye contact with you, smile,
Mhm.
do something to give of yourself
Yeah.
in a positive way. We don't know
Yeah.
what other people are going through.
Yeah.
No one at that book launch knew
Right.
what I learned until I spoke about it that day. But to judge others based on just what we see, you learn about their life and the trauma they've gone through.
Yeah.
You might look at it very differently.
Yeah.
I just finished a year-long trauma-informed coaching program through Lou Lebens and the Voyage Academy in London. I learned so much about how our brain works, our limbic system, the trauma, how we process it, how we survive it
How we store it
in our body.
inadvertently.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, too, it's really interesting. One of the things that I really recognized with trauma informed coaching, addictions, like, and thank God there's 12-step programs and there's counseling and therapists, but maybe that person needed that thing at that time
Right.
to survive
Right.
their life based on what they were going through.
Right.
Maybe it no longer serves them, but maybe in that moment in time,
Right.
it kept him alive.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I see unhoused human, like I'm always sending them metta, which is loving
Mm.
friendliness, which is may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe. I'm constantly saying that mantra
Oh, I
quite a
love
bit,
that.
so wherever you are, even like if you're in a conference or, like may this event be successful, again, it goes back to that
Yes.
intention.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna incorporate that. Thank you for sharing.
Course. Another thing I also wanted to mention, like as far as life's intention goes, you are a creator of beauty.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that so nice to
So
have that
fun.
rather than like I'm a perfectionist, right? Right?
Well, and it's so funny. So I found this beautiful, it's Kazakhstan turquoise. It is periwinkle blue and the color of like a pastel Easter egg. And I found this beautiful moonstone gold diamond charm I'm putting on, like creator beauty. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love to create beauty.
Yeah.
I have pretty dogs. I mean,
Yeah, you do. You have a pretty self,
oh, you're
right?
kind. I
Pretty
just,
outfits.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love beauty to me represents not just beauty, but it's a feeling. It's a sense of belonging. It's a sense of like, oh, that's
It
gorgeous.
brings me happiness.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That's why
Me
we like the
too.
same places.
Totally. And it's not about stuff. I want to be
Right.
clear about that.
Right.
It's not about stuff.
Right.
It's not about, I just saw the most brilliant thing about having, like to have when we want something. That's the fun part. Then you go from like, I want this, and then, okay, I have it.
Right.
Like it's never the
Right.
same feeling.
Never.
And then the only time that enhances is if you lose it, then you miss having it.
Yeah.
And it's like I used to have. But
Oh,
it's true, like this thing of believing once I have this, then I'll be happy or
yeah.
I can relax or whatever. I'm here to say that is a false way of being.
Yeah.
The time is now. We are present now. Find grace and gratitude for this moment in time, exactly where you are,
Mm.
no matter what you're going through.
Yeah.
There's gifts in all of it.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. If someone wants to hire you as a speaker or coach with you or buy some of your jewelry, I know you've got a lot of businesses. What's the best way for them to contact you?
Well, probably through my main website, which is Tanya Newbould, N-E-W, well, TANYA, NEWBOULD.com, and book a call with me. And my website is Del Pozo Jewelry, DELPOZZO Jewelry.luxury, which you have done both my websites. Thank you very
You're
much, and they're
welcome.
fabulous. But that is probably the easiest way, and I would be honored to connect with anyone.
Awesome. Thank you again, Tanya, for being part of this podcast.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this, and it's such a blessing to be here with you, Kalika.